Would it be improper to say doggies?
Well, for accents and specific ways, like when I write a script and I want someone to like mispronounce something as a joke, I write it phonetically to make sure that the actor and director know that like this is supposed to be.
He turned it back into something about himself. You notice that?
My first day at Second City, the comedy writing program. Hi, welcome to Let's Talk Why Not. I'm Tom P. Dillon, the drink anti-hero. My guest today is David Ryan Andersson. David, let's talk why not. So anyways, I was saying about myself. No, I'm speaking.
Was that the actual beginning of the show?
Yeah, you know how like it'll fade in, and it's like a conversation already in progress.
Okay, I'm fine with that.
We had to go around the class asking who's like your biggest influence or who is a major influence on you. It came to me, it's like...
And you did a Matthew McConaughey type thing where you're like, my biggest influence is me in 20 years.
Yeah, except that it didn't sound stupid.
I thought that was a really good McConaughey.
Well, it wasn't about your impression. That was about McConaughey's voice.
Hey, everybody. I know Tommy always gets to promote his anti-hero.
Oh, yeah. I'm so rude. Do you want a beer?
I don't want a beer, no, because I've provided my own drink. It's called good old-fashioned H2O. And also, my very own gold standard 100% whey supplemental powder. So it's easy. Oh, it smells like Ovaltine.
There's a scoop in there.
It's easy. Oh yeah, look.
For a standard proportion.
This is like...
So the spoon's just to mix it in.
I feel like this is like...
Not that we prepared this bit at all.
It's like a laundromat or something. Look at this. I'm sorry, this is not at all interesting. You guys can't see the cave of wonders down here. This is really how much I'm supposed to drink.
Yeah. That's the amount I'd take after I get my lift on. Or whatever the bros
Look at it.
say.
It's just sitting up there.
Get swole, son. Do you even lift, bro?
Anyway, yeah, no, 100% whey gold standard protein doesn't actually advertise on the show. But I think that after that great little ad that I just did, they're going to.
Yeah. Speaking more about how awesome I'd be as the voice of the Cave of Wonders in the new Aladdin remake.
Pure gold.
It's so smooth.
Definitely had to stir that a little bit more.
Pick a number 1 through 100.
5.
Cubs or Sox?
2. Sox. I screwed that up pretty quick.
I believe it's quickly.
What,
Adverb.
So I had 5 socks. What does that mean for me?
Oh, no, it's 5. They're separate questions. White Sox or Cubs? You prefer in baseball? You don't.
After the Cubs,
you're not drafting 5 Sox members.
Once the Cubs won, as far as I was concerned, why bother anymore? I'm back to Sox, the actual good Chicago team.
Good guys wear black.
Sure.
Yeah. Do you know Christopher Walken?
I've been told that I look a little bit like him, but I don't see it. I don't know Christopher Walken.
All right, well, you're worthless. I'm looking for someone to introduce me.
You know what's funny about Christopher Walken? He had a phase for a while in the 2000s where he was just playing like haggard old guys. Like he plays the Angel of Death in Click. He plays the crazy wizard or something in that movie Envy with Ben Stiller and Jack Black. Remember that movie?
I barely remember I haven't seen either of those films. I'm waiting for you to nail the third one that I also have not seen.
And then he also in The Rundown he plays the weirdo.
I fucking love
guy.
The Rundown.
I love The Rundown. That's
super underrated.
Movie. Yeah, it is really underrated.
That was the.
It was The Rock's breakout movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say not the peak, but that's like, yeah, basically breakout. It was his emergence. Like, yeah, he'd been in other stuff, and like you see him that CGI in The Mummy 2.
Right. Yeah, I guess that was technically his.
Oh, no, not saying that was breakout. I mean, but I was just like, we saw like the little like hints of him here or there, and then the Scorpion King. Like, oh, okay, I see what the future has in store for us.
Yeah, The Scorpion King was a pretty bad movie, but it showed off The Rock as it was like a prototype for what he would become.
Did you see the sequel that didn't have The Rock?
The Scorpion King.
Oh, I guess it was.
2?
Was it a sequel? Or, it couldn't have been a prequel because The Scorpion King was his origin story. They had a second one that started someone that was not The Rock and definitely didn't even like. It was like half the size of him, like bulk wise, like.
Oh right.
Like maybe like I think
John Cena or something.
Please don't jam the camera.
Am I? Yeah. Is that against the rules?
No, I'm kidding. I'm actually now just quoting Abed from season 6 of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was their penultimate episode.
Was it? Yeah.
Is
I never rewatched that season.
who was the character who talked like this? I was gonna say Gary, but it isn't.
Kenya. Oh, Garrett is. Wait.
Garrett. Yeah.
Garrett.
It was his wedding,
Okay.
and Abed was filming
Yeah.
that whole thing.
No, you're right. You're right.
I ju-
love Garrett. He's so great.
I finally just finished watching that last season because I was having problems with the Yahoo screen thing and was always like failing. And they didn't do a dump; they did week by week. So like I got 5 episodes in, and then I just stopped watching because
There's only like 6 episodes. Or
it was a
something,
full
Was
half
it?
season. It was 13 episodes.
Was whatever.
Yeah.
It felt like I really appreciated what he was doing with that season, trying to get back to basics. Like these are just regular people who also talk about TV and have kind of goofy things happen to them. But it felt like, in a way, an admission of defeat or something. Like it just felt like the show lost a lot of energy by doing that. You know what I mean?
I feel like the move to Yahoo really like freed up Dan Harmon to be like, okay, I don't have the NBC breathing down my neck anymore. Like we can just kind of go because he kind of thought he saw the writing on the wall halfway through season 1.
Yeah.
And like, oh, we're not getting picked up like these ratings, so might as well just have fun with this last half. And like that last half of season 1 is what like the critics really responded to, and off that buzz that led to the picking up and things. But then when he came back, because he was removed for season 4, when he came back to season 5, they like did a soft reboot of the series, like reintroducing all the characters and like marketing as like, if you didn't see the first 4, you can jump in now.
Yeah.
That was cool.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, season 5 was good. There was a lot of good stuff in that one. I love that David Fincher episode. I just love anything with David Fincher.
What David Fincher episode?
It's like Zodiac, the Ass Crack Bandit.
Oh god, yeah, that one.
That episode.
I never thought about that. Was that a Fincher homage, that whole thing?
It seemed like a pretty, it was like a Zodiac thing.
Because I only saw Zodiac like 2 months ago for the first time, so I couldn't piece it together.
Man, you were really doing all your research then. You're really prepping for this episode. It's got that like David Fincher style where it's like there's no lights on, but somehow the scenes are still perfectly lit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Love that aesthetic.
That was the word I was just about to use.
That's my aesthetic. All caps, spaces between each letter.
And then on the note of Fincher, I think I may have had the conversation with you, but like my point of I just fucking love The Social Network.
Oh yeah.
Like it's Fincher, Sorkin, Reznor.
Yeah.
Like
it's a perfect.
I want those 3 back together on something again. It was.
And also, controversial statement, but I thought Jesse Eisenberg was perfect for that role too.
Oh, no complaints.
Like
I loved him. Yeah.
I know, but I think if it hadn't been, it was like that role was cast so perfectly also that I think he deserves inclusion in that 4 or in your trio.
So
he should be the 4.
Then in
Quattro.
If you went back and you had Sorkin write the screenplay for Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, who would Jesse Eisenberg play in that movie?
He would definitely play the killer uncle or whatever.
Just age makeup.
He was or whatever. No, just leave him the way he is. He's a freaky guy.
He's got range.
No offense, he has range. Yeah, he's been playing basically Zuckerberg ever since. I don't know if he has that much range. I don't think he does.
I like him. Not to say that those things are
a good character.
But if you'd like more thoughts on Jesse Eisenberg, you can click on the link down below and see us talk about Justice League.
Oh yeah, he was in. Spoiler alert. Oh yeah, I know he is in that movie. Yeah, very briefly.
Well, I'll cut this part out.
Sorry.
No.
Spoiler alert. We didn't say anything.
Do you have any strong thoughts on pineapple on pizza?
I do. My strong thought is, I want everyone to shut up about it because it's not funny anymore. Sorry, I don't mean to undercut your entire bit that you're saying right now.
No, I don't have a bit. I like pineapple on pizza, and fuck you for trying to tell me what I can and cannot do.
This is a classic asking a question, but you already have the answer in mind, and you just want to bring up.
No, these are questions that I'm going to ask everybody.
I'm just messing with you.
No messing with the host.
No messing with the host.
Your pineapple-less pizza is ready.
My pizza's ready. Pizza, yummy.
Britta.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fantastic episode. It's my favorite thing.
Oh, it's a great
Introduction to Chaos Theory.
Yeah.
Season 3, episode
Absolutely
4.
genius.
I think.
If you rewatch that episode, they actually outline the character arcs for the entire season in that episode in the like defunct universes.
Oh,
in the defunct timelines.
Yeah.
I thought that was great because I remember seeing it the first time being like, oh, you're exploring all these things, and then they just like didn't go anywhere. I mean, I still love the episode though, regardless. But I remember thinking that, and as the season went on, being like, wait a minute, this is just like the tiny vignettes, but extended and like actually investigated. And I went back and rewatched it.
Reminds me of my first short film that I wrote, directed, and starred in called It's Not Me, It's
seen that.
You.
I've seen that short film.
Which is basically like I wrote when I was, I don't know, say how old I am, but over a decade ago.
Oh wow!
Before I got into like comedy writing or anything, I always wanted to be like, an actor when I was a little kid. But I was a freshman year at UIC, sitting alone in the quad, no friends. I just kind of like wrote out this 10-page script of like, what if a movie played out where like a thing happened, but then like they jumped back in time a little bit and then played out a different way, which then like once I started taking improv classes and shit, I realized like, oh, that's just take that back.
That's just a thing that people do, right?
Yeah.
It was still creative though.
Yeah, that's well. Well, we'll be right back after these messages from me.
I'm gonna freshen up my drink. It looks like a septic tank exploded inside of it.
Gross.
Greetings!
Hitting the skins?
Facebook stalking.
Who? A young lady named Hannah.
If a cyclist runs through a red light, they deserve to get hit by a car.
I study numerology. 30 is important.
That's wrong. You're wrong.
Well, I had to get out of there. I mean, he's cleaning my entire place and he starts mixing ammonia with bleach.
You think the Taylor Kanye Swift thing was staged?
You're naive if you think it wasn't.
Do you have any regrets?
I was kicked out of the second city for my political views.
We are so #blessed to live in Chicago.
The Music Box is hosting a Q&A sesh with Billy Zane following a screening of Titanic.
Did you just connect Katy Perry to 9/11?
Hawaiian pizza is bae.
The second best revenge is a brick to the back of the head.
This town isn't friendly enough.
I don't even use voicemail anymore. I just let it fill up so no one can leave me any.
I like to think about everyone I went to high school and college with, and they have homes and mortgages and kids, and then toast to how much more awesome my life is by comparison.
That's still funny, huh?
Yeah.
That's some of my meta post-woke humor at play there.
I'm going to cut out that whole bit except for you talking about the Aryan white child.
Goodness, this show's bad. You need better guests. You need better guests.
Well, the final icebreaker question. You think you're better than me? All right, that answers that.
I'll leave that to the audience.
Um,
Can we get a clap-o-meter?
I'm not going to dub in
I
an
want to vote
audience.
Tommy. Pretty good, pretty good. All right, I don't know. That might have been half. Everybody for David. Whoa! Wow, I didn't realize there's people all the way in the back. Can't see these bright lights.
Whatever crickets sound like.
David got the cricket vote. They go. Yeah, basically. You're thinking of a cicada. That's disgusting.
No, this is disgusting.
Oh no.
I love anti-hero.
Guys, I got my water back. Isn't this good? This is a good arc for me, I think.
I need to drink with the left hand because the right one covers the logo. You can't get the...
Oh, yeah, no, you got to get... And you have to spray... Where's your spray so you can get a little bit of dew
spritz, yeah.
on it, yeah. Like it's been freshly plucked from the garden.
Don't touch my beer. What's your favorite Simpsons quote?
My favorite Simpsons quote?
Yeah.
Dang. There's a lot of them. I would probably... I really love the episode where it's like 20 little
22
vignettes.
short stories about Springfield.
22 short stories about Springfield. I love when Dr. Nick blows up the hospital and he goes, wait a minute, inflammable means flammable? What a country. I really love that bit.
It's a great episode. Much like most cinema, like I saw that before I saw like any of the movies it was referencing.
Right, yeah.
So
yeah.
like there's a big Pulp Fiction sequence in there.
Right, yeah, I talk
fantastic.
about the Krusty Burger.
Yeah. Well, then also Snake hits Wiggum with the car, and they're wrestling, and they go into
The gun
Herman's.
owner, the gun shop.
Yeah, Herman.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's the whole like Bruce Willis and Bing Rames
like,
or whatever.
It looks like the spider caught a couple of flies.
That episode's great. I actually was just thinking about this the other day. Is what are my if I had to rank my favorite Simpsons episodes, that one would be up there. That's why I came up with it so quickly because I actually have been thinking about this.
Yeah.
Let's please mute that, please.
Let's
Be respectful to the.
Turn the vibrate off.
Which is the one with 1-2-3 fake streets? Is that the one where they get the fireworks?
That is the one that I forget what film that parodies, but it's the same storyline 3 times from a different character's perspective. It's like Marge's Day, Homer's Day, Lisa's Day.
That was it. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I get those. I really like that one a lot. They're like,
That's not Run Lola Run, is it? They're parodying? Or?
No. I don't know if there's a specific. I mean, in the 90s, you had a lot of these, like, you had like your Tarantinos and your, well, there was that movie Go, which had a similar structure where we're going to like follow the same day from different character stories and see how like they overlap and stuff.
Yeah.
I know there's been more. I don't know why those are the only ones that are coming to mind, but that was a pretty popular trope. It felt like was like this like deconstructionist type, like structurally.
I think the first time I saw something like that was the movie Sliding Doors.
Yeah. Oh man, wait.
I watched that with my brother.
I'm completely blanking on everything about that movie, but I definitely remember that. Yes, you're correct. That there was a movie like that called Sliding Doors.
Yes.
There was also 11-14, which had.
I don't know that one. No, it's the 16th today. 11-16.
No, there's a movie called 11-14, which it's a similar thing, but it's like all around this car accident. I don't know. It's I have nothing else to say about that movie except that I thought it was pretty good. I liked the way that they did it. I thought that was the most successful version of that structure. Yeah. Is that movie.
Trope might be offensive to auteurs who say things. Just how whenever somebody calls a sketch a skit, it's like
right.
Skit is a.
For everybody, this is really why I've been invited here. Is Tommy's trying to get me on camera. He's trying to confront me about this because I always call them sketches or skits. I'm sorry.
Welcome to this gotcha segment.
I always mix those up, or not mix them up, or whatever. Like clearly I couldn't care less, but
at least you said that properly. Everyone's like, I could care less, so you do care.
Right? Yeah. No, I saw there's an entire David Mitchell bit where he breaks it down for me, and ever since then I've been good. So, also let's take some time. Let's talk about phrases everybody gets wrong, like. Sorry.
Now we're doing this one.
You have a better show than me.
Well, it's an I.
You have a better show than yeah, you're correct about that.
Oh, I know.
Like, see, it's funny because now I don't remember a single one. You guys know why I'm wearing this hat? I got a really bad haircut. There's a long, not entertaining story about that. So I'm wearing this hat. It clashes with this outfit and everything, but I can't be seen with my haircut on camera. So I just want to throw that out there, guys. I don't just go around wearing, what is this, a skull cap? What do you call this?
Yeah, in the middle of July.
In the middle.
This is pre-recorded.
In the middle of July. Yeah. What's next on your list?
This is a good one, actually. Because all the other ones have been shitty. They're all great. I'm great.
This is a good episode.
I'm my biggest fan. I'm also my harshest critic. I think I'm nailing it.
That's good, yeah.
Anyway. How do you define friendship in the digital age?
Jeez. Okay, now guys, there's another thing. Tommy also invited me here because he was trying to ask me to be his friend officially.
Tommy P doesn't need friends.
He wants us to be Facebook official. How do I define a friend in the digital age? That's tough because I have so many meet friends that I see in person all the time, and I've like maintained for a lot of years. So in my mind, a friend is still a physical body that can like hang out with you in a room and stuff, you know.
You're not so close with any of your Reddit pals that like they're a friend.
Right, but like I know for a lot of people they are though, like these communities. You know, they form online because they're whatever these connections are that, you know, these unifying things that they rally around, this common ground that they find. I feel like I have enough people I can find common ground with in real life. And maybe that's because I live in a city, although I don't know. Some people are like, oh, when you live in a city, those are the most isolated places of all. I don't believe it.
David's about to get real, like, city elitist here. You don't live in the real world, David.
Right, yeah. But I mean, for people who don't live in a city, like I could completely imagine if I, David Ryan Andersson, knowing my personality, grew up, I don't know, in some like rural town or something, I could totally see not being able to find people who I really was able to connect with or appreciate just because the numbers would be lower, I think.
But then you discover the internet, find like-minded people, and all of a sudden you're carrying a tiki torch in Charlottesville.
Yeah, no, I mean, legitimately though, like, yeah, I think that's a danger is that people need community, and you've got these people who are out there willing to take advantage of that and be like, we'll be your community. And then you're like, sweet, what do you like? And it's like, we accept you for who you are. Are you a lonely guy? Like, we're down with that. Just be who you want to be. Do you think that people are mean to you because of your, like they isolate you for no reason because for what XYZ reasons, like you're not cool enough or whatever your thing is. I mean, you guys know how this works. It's, so I know saying you know how this works is not the most interesting way of describing something, but no, but you're able to like find these common ground, and you get these people like red pilling, like, what's the deal with people who are always blaming men for everything? Like you're a guy, hey kid, you who grew up in some town, you're a guy, you get picked on, you're getting blamed for things like, people think you're creepy or something, like girls think you're creepy, they don't want to be around you even though you're a nice guy.
You were so nice to them, and they didn't give you the sex that you were owed.
Right. Or I mean, it doesn't even necessarily have to be sex, but like maybe it's just attention or something. Like, I mean, because it's perfectly reasonable to say, like, you're a creepy guy, I don't even want to talk to you or
So you're saying prostitution should be legal because that's how we cut down on the gun problem in America. We don't need stricter gun laws. We need legal prostitution, and these guys won't take out their pent-up rage on innocents. They can just hire someone to, sometimes they don't even want sex. They just want to, like, just be spooned by a warm body. However much, I don't know how much it costs, and I'm sure it varies region to region, and supply and demand, capitalism, free market.
Right.
But like some of these guys just want to be the little spoon, and then they won't go shoot up a school.
You put the words right in my mouth. Right, yeah, but I mean, I think though, I don't know about
David Ryan Andersson, pro big gun.
That's probably, I shouldn't say that myself. That makes it sound, you could get a really bad sound.
Maybe I'll cut that part out.
Yeah.
Roy Moore.
Roy Moore. Oh, jeez. I forgot I'm on camera.
So here's a good segue. You have a podcast.
Yeah, I do. So the reason I'm so passionate about this stuff is because I have a podcast about it. I have to be. No, I've got a podcast that I do with my brother. My name is David Ryan Andersson. Therefore, our podcast is called Andersson Brothers, the Internet Explorers.
Now, is there like a colon or a hyphen, a dash, comma?
Man, you do whatever you want. I usually write with a colon. But
I wonder how you brand yourself.
yeah, no, branding is bad. I work in advertising, and I'm awful at branding or marketing at all, or any kind of promotion. But, sorry?
No, I was going to say you can't even get the terms straight.
I don't even care, yeah.
Yeah. Go to David for all your branding, marketing, advertising needs.
I can talk about other stuff.
Let's talk about your fucking podcast. So the first episode of the podcast, you guys tackled neo-Nazis on the internet.
Right, we're talking about Nazis on the internet. And the reason we do that is because our basic premise for this podcast is that it's not just like when we say we're exploring the internet, it's not just like, look at these funny videos or like what's up with these trends or memes or whatever. Like, look at this guy who inflated a balloon around his entire body because he gained some sort of sexual satisfaction from it. Like, it's not like stuff like that. It's as the internet becomes more and more ubiquitous, like we were talking about, it only makes sense that communities are going to be forming through it. And in the past, it seems like it's easy to look at these online communities and make fun of them or say like, oh, that's like some weird fringe group over there or something like that, which I think is the complete wrong way of looking at it, because as we've seen through the neo-Nazis, this is kind of like part of the thesis, is you can take the weirdos of society, give them a place to congregate, they're going to end up producing an actual effect on society, or that's not the best way for me to phrase it, but if you take these people that society has labeled or branded as weird or fringe or something like that, if they have a place to commune with one another and find one another online, it only makes sense that they're going to be building a real community, and that those real communities are going to be having a real impact on the larger world. It may, I mean, you know, it may be a smaller impact, maybe a huge impact, but like we've seen with these neo-Nazis, like Nazis were a joke online. We would talk about how, like, oh yeah, there's all these racists hang out online or whatever. That's the only place that they can be free is on the internet. And now we're starting to see that, yeah, they were free and they found one another, and it only made sense that they would start to build communities and support groups for each other, and then from there, tactics and strategies for how to basically not be branded as a weirdo fringe group anymore. And I mean, we're right in the middle of that. Like we're trying to figure out exactly how much influence they really have in society at large. But essentially what we want to do is look at all these different types of communities beyond neo-Nazis. Like the episode we have coming out next is about flat earthers. Like this is a really bizarre trend that just emerged out of nowhere, and we're trying to figure out, why did it show up all of a sudden? What is really going on with it? Like what's actually fueling this movement? And what does this say about where our society is at this moment and where it's going? Like what is our moment in history exactly by looking at stuff like this?
I'm looking forward to that one because I love astronomy, and like I wonder, like the demographics.
I could talk a little bit about it. Yeah.
Have you recorded that one yet?
Yeah, we've already recorded
okay.
it. Yeah.
But before we too many tangents, like I wonder, like what the demographics on that are, like what percentage about the actually believe in it, and how many people are just like in it for the lols. Like the trolls who are just like don't actually believe it, and they're just like, oh, this is funny, I'm gonna like talk about this with people.
I've seen enough people. I don't know what the numbers are on these things. That's always like kind of the difficult thing about it. Is these communities are a little bit ephemeral, but sorry, excuse me. Well, so the thing you have to remember whenever you're looking at a community is, what are their rituals and what is the evidence that they're a member? Because the price of entry for any community has to be high enough that the only way to know somebody is authentically part of your community is that they're willing to pay that entry fee. And in the case of like for a religion, for example, like maybe that means that, you know, every week you're devoting a certain amount of time or money to that religion or something. If it's a sports team, maybe it's like, you know, you're dressing up like them, you go to the games or something. Like it might be a time investment or whatever, but every community has something like this to some degree, some proof of, you know, your certificate of authentication or something that you belong here. So when you're looking at the flat earth people, you have to try to figure out what that is. And the more you investigate it, I don't want to like give everything away, but like the more you investigate it, the more you realize that they function as a religious society because they essentially are a religious society. And this is the thing that people don't talk about. I think because to get to that point of understanding who they are, you get past the crazy surface stuff, like the fun stuff. And you get into the like, I mean, like, there's nothing amusing about studying them to that level, aside from just you get the reward of figuring out like what fuels them. But it really is, essentially what it is it's a religious group that it's pan-religious almost, because there are very strong Muslims, very strong Christians, very strong like just like agnostic, anything that. But it's interesting because what it is essentially like a scientific system. It's like a scientific proof for God that they're trying to formulate, and that appeals across religions. But there are certain like things you have to kind of agree upon to be part of this, and the being ostracized from society at large is part of this like admission, like price of admission into the community and stuff. I hope I'm not being like too vague about all this stuff, but this is
don't spoil the episode. Just like little tease.
These are the kind of things that we're interested in looking at.
So how deeply do you go into and attack hip hop artist B.O.B.? Is he addressed at all?
We actually don't really talk about the celebrity flat earthers. I think we bring up Tila Tequila at one point or something, but we're really that's like That's more like why we're looking at it in the first place, rather than like, I don't know, what we really care about. Yeah.
I think yesterday I listened to the episode on, I forget what
The Montauk Boys.
yeah, I was completely unfamiliar with all that stuff as basically like the inspiration with the Duffer Brothers, you assume. Like, I mean, it's basically because the project name for...
So Stranger Things, the famous Netflix show, as we all know. Stranger Things, its original working title was Montauk. When I first saw Stranger Things, I didn't know that, but as I was watching it, I was like, oh, this is definitely influenced by this conspiracy theory called the Montauk Project. This conspiracy theory is essentially like the central stalk or whatever that all other conspiracy theories of the 20th century kind of like grow out of to a certain degree.
And you guys mentioned creepypasta toward the end.
Yeah,
is creepypasta an extension off of that then? Like, can you tie is Slender Man in the family tree of the Montauk
Project? No, not that I can think of off the top of my head. But Slender Man is also a 21st century invention. He is not part of that.
Did Johnson & Johnson invent Slender Man?
Johnson, the family company?
Yeah.
Why? No.
I don't know. You sound like invention, like someone's like toiling away in a lab, like, get that Slender Man on the market.
We know. Maybe I should do an episode about Slender Man because there's we know exactly the moment he was invented. Slender Man, yeah. As a cultural myth, whatever, like an urban legend thing.
Maybe pinpointed online.
Yeah, it was developed so recently that we actually have records of this. Actually, we're going to do an episode. This is probably going to be the season finale. We're shooting for like 10 episodes maybe for the first season. So as a season finale, I think we're going to do an episode all about these sort of internet folk historians who are trying to catalog everything that's going on online, because there's such a quick turnover on websites and communities and all this stuff that like things are getting lost, and there's these people who are trying to hold on to it. But they're not like, it's not an academic pursuit the way that they're doing it. So it's literally like, it's like a folk history. It's really interesting. So we're going to do an episode about that. So
have you guys considered or talked about having guests on?
We have, actually. This is a good opportunity for me to say, if you think that you have a specific special insight into a unique online community, totally reach out to me or Tommy, or Tommy will get you in contact with me, whatever we end up doing.
It's Tommy P.
Tommy P, I'm sorry. Yeah. Because we would love to talk to you. Yeah, we're thinking about that. None of those have been filmed yet, so I don't want to like bring them up yet in case they fall through. But yeah.
Film? You guys shooting on like Super 16? Or
I keep saying film. I'm a film guy. We haven't recorded those yet, so I don't even want to bring them up in case they don't happen.
I don't know if you can do. I know you have a second podcast you told me briefly about. Before we started shooting, and that's over the internet. So I don't know if like for your one for the Anderson brothers, if you have the capacity to do the online stuff. But I know a guy that is you might want to like touch base with, consider on the Slender Man episode. He was actually my guest on the first episode of Let's Talk Why Not that I shot 18 months ago
or something. 18 months, was that it?
Yeah.
Oh.
And then about 6 months ago, when I was clearing stuff off of my like unlisted videos on YouTube, I accidentally deleted it. I still got the master file, so I think if this project continues to, let's say, like maybe a 1 year point, I'll re-upload.
We've opened up the Why Not Vault for one time only.
Stand-up comedian Tommy McNamara.
Oh, yeah. No, I recognize that name.
Yeah, he's Chicago native, relocated to NYC, and into Slender Man, knows his way around some creepypasta stuff.
If he wants to talk about, I mean, totally. This is networking, people. This is how it's done.
So good tease on. So where can people listen to this?
As of right now, we're trying to figure out how to get onto like iTunes or whatever. But as of right now, we just have a SoundCloud. Yeah, I don't know. This is sort of a temporary solution. We're just trying to start getting stuff out there. We're really trying to figure out the professional.
I mean, I have no idea what I'm doing. This just keeps me off the streets.
Right, yeah, which is good because I knew you back on the streets. We go way back, Tommy P.
No, we don't. You don't know me at all. I can't find the fade button.